human beings are animals. And if you think of a single type of animal, and we're going to be talking about Dr. Peterson very quickly here, so he's going to love this part. If you think of animals, and we think of lobsters, for example, there are different lobsters around the world. They are different sizes, shapes, and colors. And you don't think of one lobster race as those are the yellow lobsters and they're Chinese, and those are the red lobsters and they're Indians and stuff like that. You think of them all as lobsters.
That'd be weird if we just all of a sudden started classifying racialized animals.
Animals, yeah. But it would be absurd. You would be like, well, what the fuck are you doing? You're so stupid, right? And that's what everyone is doing when you call people, Well,
we do sort of do that. Dogs, right? Like we like
those are breeds.
Yeah, but we're like, I guess so. But they're all canines. They're all the same.
They are all the same animal. So yeah, that being said, that's race and ethnicity. Talking again about these animals. I want to talk about our good friend, Dr. Peterson.
Here we go again.
It's been some time. It's our most popular video on YouTube. The comments are excellent, so we should talk about this. I've been trying to work on a more raspy Peterson voice, though, because he doesn't seem as far out.
It's not fun, though.
It's harder when you go through. It's not.
I'm just turning into a German frog.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's harder. But Peterson has, especially in Canada, is one of the people who has spoken out against diversity as a strength from an intellectual standpoint.
Yeah.
Be very suspicious of them in every possible way, and you should resist it as much as you possibly can. Diversity, inclusivity, well, those are the minor demons of the radical left, let's say. Diversity defined by race or ethnicity or gender is not only not a moral good, it's actually a moral evil. Because it dispenses with the whole idea of the individual. It dispenses with the idea of competence.
Now, I know right away people are going to say, oh, you're taking him out of context. You don't understand. You haven't read every book he's ever written and listened to every lecture he's ever given. So I
don't think anybody who's listening to us is going to say that, though.
Not us, but people who are watching maybe a video we're going to make eventually on YouTube from this will be definitely commenting in the comment section. Like, I was about to say you guys are Philistines.
We are.
Well, yeah, and you don't know what that word means. So. But to use some of his parlance, Peterson would drop the axiom that, for example, the negative effects of diversity are that we have to have forced diversity, or we basically impose diversity as a strength on, say, school systems. People get hired because of diversity.
That's bullshit. Nobody gets hired by diversity. There's studies and studies that show people with non-Anglican names are never hired in favor of people with Anglican names.
Well, it's that old, you just got that job because you're black.
Yeah.
You just got that job because you're a woman and they need to fill a quota.
Yeah, that's it. Saying? But it's like, but the general thing is black people don't get those jobs. If it was fair, fucking people like Jordan Peterson would rather not ever have a black person or a woman. We already know he would never work with a woman, right? Yeah. Right off the bat.
Yeah, of course. So how are you supposed to look at their lipstick and not have sex with them?
Exactly.
You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Why do they wear that lipstick?
They're prostituting themselves.
I've always wondered that.
There's more variability within groups of people than between groups of people. And to state otherwise is to state something that is in fact categorically racist. Because if I said, well, there's more difference between groups of people than within groups, then I'm saying that each racial group is an entity unto itself.
We can't then ignore the fact that because race is a social construct and we live in a social-based society, we're social creatures, that it doesn't play a role in society, right? You can't then make that jump and say that doesn't exist either. So obviously, racism and race affects the way we perceive and treat other people because our society is set up that way. And we as people have already set up these parameters to say that this is a different race, this is a different that. We should be cognizant of the fact that if you grow up as a black person, because of the way society has structured our perceived views of race, that they might have a more difficult time finding jobs. If they say have a black name, they might have a higher percentage of incarceration.
And then diversity in the service of what exactly? The idea that a group of people that's racially diverse is better at problem solving than a group of people who isn't. There isn't a shred of evidence to support that idea.
So one study I've conducted looks at how the racial composition of juries affects the way that jury makes a decision, the way it deliberates. And what we did in that study was we took people in the course of their actual jury duty and recruited them to participate in a mock jury simulation, showed all of these juries the same exact criminal trial video, and we varied the racial composition of these juries so that half of them were racially diverse juries and half of them were, in this case, all white juries. And so what we find in the study is that our diverse juries perform better on a variety of dimensions. Better is a hard concept with juries, but in this study they raise more facts from the trial, they discuss a broader range of information, they discuss the information more accurately, actually in discussing the facts of the case.
To not misquote or not mischaracterize The Good Doctor, when he does speak about
Fuck him.
when he does speak about diversity, what he's directly said is that it's actually the liberals who are trying to push the idea of racism upon you by gentrifying you, putting you in these classes and separating you based on race, when we should be separating everybody based on talent. We should be separating everybody based on ability. And I'm not going to say this because he didn't say that, but IQ.
That's it, right? It's an entrenched white male who's saying, we shouldn't judge people by this. We should only judge people by their abilities and their...
Because he has probably never experienced being judged on his race.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
In his entire, illustrious career.
Yeah.
And this is why he was posting as early as July 5th, 2018. And this is not a tweet that he's taken down, all right? This is the largest study ever done. Excuse me. This is the largest study ever done on the effects of diversity. First off, this isn't a study. This is a commentary on a study, which take with a grain of salt. Post the study first off, right? Don't post an opinion piece linked to something. But who wrote this opinion piece before we even get into it? I wasn't fully familiar with the man because I'm not really up on my extreme white nationalists these days.
Well, you're not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
Or since leaving the Klan.
Yeah, not since my rehabilitation, brother. Steve Saylor.
Okay.
Steve Saylor, born 1958, is a racist, misogynist, white supremacist, anti-Semite, Islamophobe, homophobe, classist, ableist, transphobe, trans-misogynist, and pseudoscientist.
So he's basically one of those like white nationalist Nazi pieces of garbage.
He's as hardcore as it gets.
Yeah.
He was far hateful alt-right before alt-right was cool kind of stuff, right?
This article's from this tweet's from this year?
This tweet is from July 5th this year. Yeah. And he posted, like I said, he posted saying that this is a study, the largest study based on diversity. And it's a link to an opinion piece by an avowed
white nationalist. And this isn't some schmuck on a message board on the internet. This is, a renowned PhD doctor who knows the difference between studies and opinion pieces.
Absolutely.
And he's not caught with his pants down, right?
No.
He has an agenda when he's promoting these. What is why are you attacking the author? People are like,
exactly. Yeah. Why is this an ad hominem attack?
Yeah.
You think we're taking Jordan Peterson out of context? Here's your fucking context right there. This is an avowed white nationalist opinion piece that he is linking to talk to you about diversity.
And especially the way that he frames that. He frames it like this is a major study done where he's not linking to the study.
No.
Where he's linking to an opinion piece that's critiquing the study by a general nobody.
Yeah.
He knows that, promote a piece like this.
Absolutely. No, he's very intelligent.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say lately he's been less calculated with his posts. He's posting a lot of like global warming science, pseudoscience and woo and other stuff like that.
He's just latched on to that alt-right movement. That's where his bread is now buttered.
Yeah. But because of his word salad specialty, which is his superpower, people just can't really latch on to anything he said because he didn't actually mean that. You're taking him out of context. Remember that. Always remember you're taking him out of context. But if you also want to ask us a question, we'll answer it on the air. You can do so by going to wearesurfs.com. If you want to help support the show, and man, does it help when you do, please go to patreon.com/thesurfs. Every little bit helps. Without you, we would not be alive today.
Yeah. All you listeners are actually keeping us alive. If we don't get X amount of listens, we will actually die.